find the privateers in the shipping lanes of such men as John Hancock to capture prizes for the crown. It's important to the Patriots to drive the British from Newport, Rhode Island. So General Sullivan raised an army of some 11,000 men. Unfortunately, only 3,000 to 4,000 of these men are actually well-trained continental troops. The others are shopkeepers, wig makers, maybe carpenters that make up the militia, who are totally undependable. As the British man in and the smoke comes closer, they get to thinking very dearly of fire. They keep to thinking of their wives cooking and their daughters' hugs. They're very undependable as far as that. Facing him will be General Piggott of the British with 6,000 very well-trained men. The very best army in the world, the British Army at that time. And yet the Patriots will dare to win their independence from the British who do not understand the American forms of government and want to eliminate it. This is siege warfare. As you noticed, our order just went off. We will be bringing a siege on the British in just a moment. He first has to find his range there and accuracy as well. Well, every battle is going to start off with the musicians calling the men to muster. So, bring it on.
I declare war.
see that our British are forming down there to make their defense of the fort there at the city of Newport, which is also on the Atlantic Ocean. Newport is the island of Rhode Island, actually a small island, about 6 or 7 miles long, maybe a couple miles wide. It's covered with apple orchards as well, and at this time in history it is a large port and very important to the American cause, and they're very determined to drive the British from Newport. Let's watch the British and see if they're going to occupy their fortifications. As you've noticed, the French fleet did come, and that was great encouragement. Great cheers were going on when the Americans saw the mast of the French fleet. But as you have learned, as the French fleet went out to meet the British fleet under Admiral Howe, that they were hit what would maybe be called a hurricane in gale season. Many of the ships were demasted in the storm. There was a little fighting afterwards, but both fleets were very horribly mauled. So we're going to see Admiral Lord Howe will return to New York to get his fleet fixed, and we'll see that then Admiral Count d'Estaing will go to Boston with his French fleet, much to the dismay of General Sullivan. I should say much to the anger of General Sullivan, who could just not understand why the British, they were just days away from taking Newport to the British fortifications, which they had outmaneuvered and outnumbered greatly. And yet d'Estaing was in no mood to try to meet the British with a triple fleet. And so the Americans are perplexed. What are they going to do? Shall they go ahead without the French and try to carry the force? There's going to be almost a week of indecision on the part of both the American cause as well as the British here. Well, we see now the British are headed up to their fortifications to make ready in case of an American onslaught. The orders are going to begin their shelling of the British fortifications. That's an even modern warfare, as the armies are not sure exactly where they are. This is a day and age before airplanes and GPS. The armies are going to have to feel out where everyone is. So they're going to send out skirmishers. Usually these are called the light infantry. This is the cream of crop of both armies. So we're going to see here that they're going to send out some skirmishers to find out just, okay, where is the enemy? And from there, the officers will make decisions whether they're going into a full-fledged battle or just let their skirmishers bring their enemy in. You'll notice our skirmishers here feeling out one another. Notice almost straight in on the British line. Will they stay there as the border finds its range?
Somebody died.
British are determined to send reinforcements to their ambush group. The American right flank to double time it. See if they can pull off their move.
Take credit! Take credit! Take it! Take it! Fire!
British look like they may be successful in outflanking and taking the Americans on their right. British will bayonet charge. They're going toe-to-toe. Heavy fire into the American right flank. Withering fire from the British. They must retreat. One last set of fortifications on the north part of the island. The Americans will go back there and hold their own. American right is outflanked. They must retreat to their redoubt.
Fire! Fire down!
Now the British are pulling mortar fire in on the Americans. This is their very last place. They have nowhere to go from the Narragansett.
Hold, man! Stay!
Behind these they should determine they're going to make a final charge to drive the It looks like the day is hell for them. The Americans have lost their fortifications. See, we have the camp followers coming out to check them in, to see if they can give them water and save a life. They're carrying pitchers, and so their names are often Mary or Margaret, so they call these ladies Molly Pitcher.
Behind me, bro! Get the
Very best army in the world, giving a withering fire. But here come the Americans. They outflank the British on their right. They're going to put a withering fire into the British to catch them off guard.
Set! Fire! That's the spirit, lads!
The Americans are one that the British did not expect. They're putting on their bayonets. They're going to do a countercharge under the leading of General Nathaniel Greene from Connecticut. With this, he will take the British totally by surprise, drive the British back. let's settle for this. And as the battle comes to the end, it'll be very easy there. Retreat to the middle fortifications. The Americans will form their fortifications. Under the cover of night, the Americans will escape over the Sound, over to Tiverton, and then up to Providence. As the battle is characterized, it's often called a draw, where both sides will claim victory. The British, in a sense, will hold the ground, but they will pay a very fearful price for this and high casualties that day. About half the casualties of the British, and so they consider it a moral victory and a victory as they put a big hurt on the British that day. And as you see, this will be the last major battle. It is the largest battle, which is in the New England area during this time. The British, for within a year and a half, will actually give up Newport. They will believe that they cannot take the northern force with General Washington and the Continental Army now, and they will change their strategy to the south. They will go down to Georgia and to South Carolina, to Savannah and Charleston, and they will move the theater of war there. As it looked, this first disaster of the American and French alliance was not very promising. Within 3 years, the Americans and the French will mend their relationships. General Washington is very diplomatic in doing this, and they will finally, in October of 1781, they will work together to orchestrate a most excellent victory at the Battle of Yorktown in October of 1781. So what starts off as a disaster at the Battle of Rhode Island, within 3 years will turn into a victory for the emerging new nation. Can we give our reenactors a hand, please? As you'll notice, the surgeons are going to try to save lives here. I would like our soldiers to resurrect. They would like to meet you for a while on the line here. Following that time, we will have the surgery, a bullet removal. This is not for the faint-hearted. Parents and chaperones, we leave it to your discretion whether you want to see the life of the soldier saved during this. It's a very realistic, no, it is not real. It's very realistic, demonstrating how a surgeon will remove a bullet.
First company!
Beat the soldier.
Fallen!
In about 5 minutes.
Second company! Fallen! Fallen! Italian! Company! Giulio! Fire! Giulio! Fire! Italian! Company! Present! Arms! Present! Arms!
Present! Arms!
Italian! Company! Giulio! Fire! Giulio! Fire! Company! Shoulder! Fire!
Officers, take charge of the companies.
First company. Advance.
Company, advance. If you have any questions, come up and ask us. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have.